What is going on? My name is Jason, and in this video I'm going to make dinner for me and my wife Angie. Now today's not going to be anything crazy. It's actually one of those lazier days, so my goal is to cook something that is fast, quick, and easy, but delicious. Today, like most days, I'm making stir fry. I'm going to be stir frying green beans and pork, and we're going to serve that on top of rice. But not just any rice, we're going to amp up the flavor by adding some cured meats to our rice cooker. Right now, Angie's feeding our son Armin. Hopefully by the time she's done feeding him, she can eat also. Before we get started, I gotta talk about some of our cured meat options. Starting with the most common, we have Chinese sausage or làcháng. These bad boys are dried, cured, and smoked. Next, I have some cured duck or laap aap. They look like pancakes, but it helps with the dehydrating process. And last but not least, we have cured pork belly or làyā. These meats have been marinated, then hung to dry. And they pack a lot of flavor, all very distinct and different from one another. Today I'm going to show you one of the easiest ways to prepare these Chinese cured meats. And this method will work with any of these meats. We'll be using the laap aap or the cured duck. First thing we have to do is wash our rice to get rid of excess starch. Then I'll make sure I have the correct amount of water. Next, we'll rinse our cured duck. These have been hung dry, usually for a couple days, so if there's any dust, you want to get it off. Then just plop it in there with your rice. Toss it in your rice cooker, set it, and forget it. And that's it. For our main course, pork and green bean stir fry, we'll of course be using green beans. I peeled off the ends, then broke them in half. For protein, I'm using lean pork or làyā. I marinate this in soy sauce, làcháng, a pinch of sugar, and oil. A quarter of a red onion sliced. Our stir fry sauce, which consists of water, soy sauce, oyster sauce, sugar, and a dash of chicken bouillon. Cornstarch to thicken up our sauce. And in the spirit of lazy quick dinners, we're going to use minced garlic from a jar. All right, let's do this. I'll be using a wok for the stir fry, so we'll get it on the heat. Once I see some white wisp of smoke, we'll add in our oil. Give it a good swirl. I'm going to cook my green beans first, and one little trick I like to do is to add some salt to the oil before I add the green beans. I probably should have refilled my salt tray earlier. I find this does a good job of seasoning the green beans to my taste. I think it gives it more flavor. If you notice, I like to be a little bit more generous with the oil when I cook my green beans. Most of it will vaporize and the beans will not be oily. I promise. There are actually Chinese recipes where they fry the green beans. This, I think, is a good compromise. You can always blanch the green beans, but I feel that it doesn't give that authentic Chinese wok hei flavor. All I'm doing here is continuously stirring the green beans on medium heat. I want to make sure that all the salt has been evenly distributed and also dissolved into the green beans. I'm also doing this because I don't want the green beans to burn. Green beans take quite a bit of time to fully cook. However, if you just leave it in the wok, the green beans will char pretty easily. The oil is vaporizing and leaving the wok, and once I start to see some tiny char spots on the green beans, I'll add in a few tablespoons of water and put a lid on it. This will keep the green beans from burning and ensure that the green beans are fully cooked, but still keep them vibrant and have a little bit of bite to them. It took right around 2 minutes before I put the lid on, and we're going to steam it for another 2 minutes. My green beans are looking beautiful and vibrant, but we aren't done with them just yet. I'm going to continue to cook them for another minute and let the extra moisture evaporate. Last thing I want for this dish is for the beans to be underdone. Just be sure that your green beans don't lose their luster and become dark green, because that means that they're overcooked and they'll lose their crunchiness. That looks pretty good. I'll set it aside for now. No beans left behind. Now to work on the other ingredients. I want my wok fully dried before adding any oil to avoid oil splattering. In goes the minced garlic. After a few seconds, I'll push it up the side of the wok, and next I'll add in my red onions. I'm breaking them apart so that all the onions are separate. I'm cooking them on medium heat for a minute. We'll then push off the onions to the side with the garlic and drizzle in some more oil. Next, I'll toss in my pork. I cut up about 12 ounces of pork, but for this dish, I'm only going to be using around 6 ounces. It's best to not overcrowd the wok. Whenever you add protein to a wok, it will reduce the temperature of the wok, and it's important when stir frying that you always have a sizzle sound. If you lose that sound, it means that your wok cooled down too much and your meat will start to steam, not sear. And make sure to spread out the pork, and then just like a steak, you don't want to flip it right away. We want our pork to develop some browning because browning is flavor. Now, if you flip the meat too early, the pork will release a bunch of moisture and again, the meat won't brown. I like to wait until the pork is about 80% cooked before I flip it. We'll let the other side sear for 30 seconds, then we'll mix everything together. We'll toss in our green beans back into the wok, give it a mix. Then we'll go in with our sauce. Again, we don't want to cool down the wok too quickly, so we'll add it slowly and pour it around the side of the food. Lastly, I'll add in my cornstarch. Normally I'll mix it with some water, but I just added some of the sauce to dissolve it. You can also add the cornstarch to the sauce prior, but I feel like it gives you less control on how thick you want your sauce. If it's too thick, I can always add a little bit more sauce and we're good to go. Now we can't forget about our cured duck. It's been simmering away in our rice jacuzzi, and now that our rice is fully cooked, we can take it out and chop it up. I love this method of preparing cured meats because 1, the meat is being rehydrated, making it softer and easier to eat. Number 2, the fat is also being rendered and absorbed into the rice along with the flavors of the cured meat. And 3, it's just super simple and easy. Most nights we're making rice anyway, and this adds almost no prep time, and I get another side dish for dinner. Here's a closer look at this salty, savory, and packed with flavor cured duck. Food is ready. This is my green beans and làyā stir fry, green beans and pork, and this is làp.
That's really good. It's really good.
The green beans, you like the green beans?
Yeah.
Regardless of Angie's lack of enthusiasm, I thought that the green beans were delicious. They had the perfect amount of saltiness and were cooked just right. Angie knows how much I don't like canned or frozen green beans. They lack flavor and typically they're very mushy. This is the way to do it. And the best part about this dish is that it is extremely cheap. We use làcháng or lean pork, and that's like one of the cheapest cuts of pork that you can get. Làcháng used in a lot of Chinese soups, which it turns out very dry afterwards. However, when used for stir fry, it tastes much better. It's like night and day, but of course you can always use whatever choice of meat that you want to use. Now for cured meats, have you tried them? What do you think? And what is your favorite way to prepare them? Let me know in the comments down below. Personally, I love Chinese cured meats. I ate a lot of Chinese sausage back in college. Laap aap, làcháng. It's all good stuff. Anything lop is good except for laap aap. You don't want to eat that. If you found some value in this video, go ahead and tap the like button down below. Also, if you want to see more videos, go ahead and tap one of the videos that'll be right here, or subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when we drop a new video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.